What do you do when a client won't let your agency talk about the work you did for them? Well, keep watching for 3 ideas to still use that work when you're prospecting. Hey, welcome to 3 Takeaways, your agency new business video series where we focus on one new business category. We're going to give you 3 takeaways to help improve your new business program. All right, the idea for this episode came from an Adweek article titled Brands Silence Hurts Agencies. PR is a win for both. All right, the link will be in the description. Now, the short version of the article, it talks about brands or companies not letting an agency publicly talk about the work they created for that brand. Worth a read, but per usual, Adweek tends to focus on larger agencies. So I wanted to focus your takeaways today on small and mid-size agencies because it's an issue for you as well. It's also our sweet spot at RSW. All right, well, let's get the obvious point out of the way, and it's your first takeaway. Discuss publicizing your work early with your client or don't. All right, well, I don't mean to be flip about this, but you can take one of 2 paths. The first is you bring it to the table early with the client, right? Fair enough. May need to be some negotiating, as I get into in a little bit. And there are ways to use that work as part of your new business strategy that, doesn't involve plastering your client's logo across your site, okay? Or there's the other path. If it's not mentioned, it's fair game. But again, in my opinion, you're taking baby steps at that point, not plastering the logo, right? And more on that. Now, let me point out, I get that this is your new client. Your goal is not to make demands or piss them off out of the gate around this subject, right? A lot of small and mid-sized agencies are working with bigger companies, and some of those companies will make it known early on, you cannot talk about the work, period.
End of discussion.
So at that point, circumstances, will dictate, but you don't want to push it any further, okay? But it's not necessarily over at that point. If there's not a firm policy, you have some potential leeway, for example. And it's your second takeaway here. Create docs, mini case studies, or one-pagers that are only used in your prospecting as one-on-one communication that you can share with them, okay? Or a non-published password-protected landing page. Okay, not something you're posting on your site or in any public platform. Again, not advocating you jeopardize your relationship with this client. If you feel in your gut this step could bite you, you have to ask yourself if it's worth it.
You gotta ask yourself, is it worth it?
In some cases, it may be, for example, so I know I've had conversations with agencies where they're thinking this is a long-term client we really like to replace, okay? And you need to at least create something that talks that work but only in direct communication. Now, even that may make you feel a little queasy, all right? Fair enough. So another option, and your third takeaway, talk about the work only in one-on-one conversations. Literal speaking or video conversations. If you really can't or don't want to have anything public facing or are too concerned about physical or digital versions being out there, another option is discussing the work one-on-one in a prospect meeting. In those conversations.
That's the only way.
And maybe you don't actually mention the brand directly to be safe, but what you did and what the results were. All right, thanks for watching 3 Takeaways. Lots of new business content on our site at rswus.com. Just hit that resources drop down. See y'all later.